All right, guys, how's it going? Have you heard that Liverpool have bid for Marc Guéhi? Well, I can tell you where it's come from. It's come from the infamous Indie right here on X. And it says as follows, exclusive. And then it's got one of them little emojis like a bomb. It's like exploding because it's so exciting. We understand LFC have submitted a bid for Marc Guéhi. We understand the bid is around £25 million with add-ons. The bid has not been accepted or rejected. All right? So that's the claims. Now, my opinion is that's a load of shite. Okay? Maybe you're a bit gullible and you believe it or you want to believe it. That is often the case with a lot of people that follow these accounts. They want to believe it. And it's fairly obvious that he is still a Liverpool target. Now, Paul Joyce, the closest Liverpool journalist, if you like, the closest journalist to Liverpool Football Club, very pally with Michael Edwards and Richard Hughes and all that, as you know. He says Liverpool won't bid for Marc Guéhi in January, but I'm not sure I believe that comes either. All right, I shouldn't use language like that. I'm getting back into things. I've been away for a few days. I'm not sure I believe him either. He's not cunt. Where I'm from, it's a term of endearment using that word. You know what I mean? Morning, you cunt. Hiya, ma'am. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. I'm not having it. I think, in my opinion, Liverpool will try and sign Marc Guéhi in January. If they don't, regardless, by the way, of what Paul Joyce says, if they don't, I think they'll try for another young centre-back. Now, Paul Joyce made that claim, if I'm right with my memory, quite soon after the transfer window closed, when there was a lot of frustration and anger around. In other words, I thought that Paul Joyce was doing a bit of propaganda for Liverpool in the sense of, hey, don't think we're going to just come back in January kind of thing. I don't think Paul Joyce is deliberately misleading you. That will have been conveyed to him. But I think Liverpool will try and sign him in January, which makes it very easy for these accounts to make claims. Now, of the obvious, if you like. So what I've done is I've got that tweet there and I've given it to Dave. Now, if you're not, a regular viewer of my channel, I have an assistant, an AI assistant called Dave that's been trained to monitor news articles, football news articles, the journalists that write them and the platforms, the publications that push them on us, including people like Indie. What Dave does is he keeps a log of every single thing, of every single person we discuss on here, whether it's a journalist or a Twitter twat, right, basically. And I have asked Dave what he thinks of that claim. Now, what Dave will do is he will look for holes and get-outs, which is what you should do. Even when you're reading a real journalist, you should always look for the get-outs, especially when there's an exclusive, because it shows to you, it tells you how much confidence the journalist has in their own words and their own claims, right? Trust me, always look for the get-out. So, and I can tell you right now, for transparency, Dave does not like Indie. Right, that's just that's an opinion I form myself from reading the various reviews he does of his outstanding work. So, Indie's get-out clauses. This is Dave now. Here are the explicit escape hatches in his post. We understand classic vagueness. Not Liverpool have submitted a bid. We understand LFC have submitted a bid. We understand. Oh, I get it, okay. But we understand, which means someone told us something, maybe, could be wrong, not our fault. I'd have to agree with that. Dave's right. Complete deniability. 2, around £25 million with add-ons. Around. Now, when I read that tweet to you, I think I emphasised the word around because it was what I thought as well. Around equals no exact figure. Cannot ever be checked. If a deal happens later at any fee, he'll say, yes, that's what we meant. If it never happens, he'll say talks didn't progress. 3, the bid has not been accepted or rejected. This is the big one, Dunk. It means no one can confirm a bid was made. No one can deny a bid was made. Nothing has to happen next. He can stretch the story for weeks. It's the perfect hedge because if a bid never appears, Palace simply didn't respond. If a bid later appears, we told you first. Either way, he wins. 4. No details on when the bid was supposedly submitted. No date, no time, no source, no context. This protects him because, that was earlier today. That was yesterday. That was last week. He can shift the timeline whenever he wants. 5. No evidence Palace even know about this bid. If Palace brief the press tomorrow saying no bid received, his escape is it went to the intermediaries. It wasn't formal. It was an initial proposal. It was verbal. They're denying it. Total flexibility. That's actually very good by Dave there, because I wouldn't even have thought that. I know that, obs. But I wouldn't have thought about, Palace coming. I wouldn't have thought about Palace coming out and saying no bid received. Anyway, summary: the entire tweet is built out of get outs. The entire tweet. We understand around 25 million not being accepted or rejected. No date, no confirmation from Palace, and no confirmation from Liverpool. It's engineered so nothing can ever be disproven, regardless of what happens next. And that is a pattern that you will get with that account. All right? That's the state. I've just had a shave. That's the state of the interwebs today and social media. It's just a load of shite. Now, let's do some hypotheticals. What if there is a £25 million bid? I'm not saying that I'm believing 1%, but what if Liverpool did offer £25 million? Do you think Crystal Palace would accept it? I don't. I think Palace would say, we're pushing, we're going to push on. We need this player. We'll cut our fucking losses in this because it's obvious he's coming to Liverpool, right? It's obvious he's coming to Liverpool. It's the same with Semenyo, right? I'm not saying it's obvious he's coming to Liverpool, but all of the claims that have been made on social media and by the press and all the various websites or whatever, and some of the journalists and big names, right? All of these claims that have been made while I've been on my travels the last 9 or 10 days, all of them are all obvious as fuck. All of them. Obvious as fuck. And then they just copy each other. It's shite. When was the last time you ever saw a journalist come out with a proper exclusive and said, this player that you've never fucking heard of before is on his way to Liverpool in January? You don't hear it. It's all predictable shit. The Semenyo stuff started in 2024. All right? I've gone right back through it. That's how fucking bored I was on holiday. I went right through it to see who can claim. Because these lot are all claiming who got the Semenyo interest first. So I dug through it all, because that's what I do. I'm obsessed with finding out who started that shit, you know what I mean? Anyway, this isn't about Semenyo. This is about Marc Guéhi. Now, my opinion is as follows. Fuck what Dave thinks. My opinion is that Liverpool will try and sign Marc Guéhi in January. Not in November, but I do think that we will make an attempt to try and sign him. I don't know what Palace will do. I think Palace will be awkward. I think they'll dig in. If Liverpool offer 25 million for him, I think they'd go, look right, old silly cup. Do you know what I mean? That's what I think they'd do. And I think it might be a difficult one to make happen, to be honest with you. I think if Liverpool maybe went up to 35 million, I think they would do business at 35. Maybe they would negotiate down and maybe 30, I don't know. But £25 million, forget the add-ons, 25 million cash. If I was Palace, I'd say, no, you're all right, thanks. 35 million, I'd think, are we fucking stupid, really? It depends how much that player is worth to you and the progress and what you're chasing at the time. Would you agree? All right, that's it. So, the reason for the video is, if you have heard, because not everyone is on social media, but they hear friends and people, talking about stuff. If you've heard that Liverpool have bid 25 million for Marc Guéhi, it originates from just from a Twitter tweet, if you like. Please wait. What did Dave say here? This is Dave. Who is Indy Kyler? Indy runs a self-styled ITK account. That means in the know. Self-appointed in the know. On X, built on unverifiable claims, vague statements, and predictions so broad they can't be disproved. His following has turned into a cult bubble, mostly teenagers and gullible fans who treat him like an insider. His method is simple: post 20 vague claims, retweet the one that later aligns with real news, delete or quietly bury the rest. Mainstream journalists aren't endorsing him, they're humouring him. It's the equivalent of patting the loud lad in the pub on the back while he insists he's talking to Jurgen Klopp on WhatsApp. He isn't a reporter, he isn't an insider, he's a social media performer who survives on hedges, ambiguity, and the naivety of people who don't spot the trick. Now, from my point of view, someone that's been active on the internet for almost 30 years with Cock Talk, the overwhelming majority of all the accounts you see on social media to do with Liverpool, 99.9% of them are all commercial accounts. I can't think of any real fan accounts anymore. I think I mentioned this in the morning briefing today about, websites, Liverpool website. I don't think there is a decent Liverpool fan site today. And the thing is, everyone's got to make, a living or whatever, right? But when I started Cock Talk, it was a hobby, right? It was a hobby, and I had no idea what the fuck I was doing, and I had no idea that it would explode and become so successful. And one of the first problems I had with Cock Talk when it took off was I had this web hosting package with a company called Magic Moments, I think they were called in England. And all of a sudden they said, you're getting that much traffic to your website that you're going to have to pay us an extra 200 quid or something. And I was like, what the fuck? How am I going to pay that? How am I going to pay that? So it then became quite obvious to me that I needed to carry advertising or something, or needed to make more money to cover the costs in providing the website, if you like. It doesn't cost anything to open a Twitter account, right? An X account. It doesn't cost anything. And if you're a real fan and you're tweeting news and stuff, which is how it started for me, you're not bothered about making a living from it. The thing is, if you're very good at what you do, if you had an X account and you were extremely good at what you were doing, and it becomes your full-time job, or you're giving up a lot of your time and people appreciate you and what you do, then people, I think, in my opinion, you have every right to push affiliations and whatever, because they've got to pay for their time and cover it. And I know all of this, guys. The thing is, with these accounts, unfortunately, the majority of them do it for what's, engagement, or it's called engagement farming. And that is that an account with a blue tick, now it doesn't apply to every account, right? But you can only be monetized on X if you have a blue tick, right? You can hide the blue tick, by the way, even if you pay for it. And what you're going to do is you're going to look at the views, all right? So this tweet here, 720,000 views. Now, I can't remember what the last, the minimum amount of views is in any period to be monetized. I think it was 5 million in 3 months. It might have changed, right? But Indy's account is obviously going to generate enough views to be monetized. Like Fabrizio Romano. Mo Salah! Yes, him, right? And what happens is, once you are monetized on X, every reply with a blue tick, like this one here, that's got a blue tick. This has got a blue tick, right? And if we scroll down, let's have a look. Blue tick, blue tick, blue tick, blue tick, blue tick. Every account which has a blue tick that replies to you earns you money. Now, an account without a blue tick does not earn you money in that sense through the monetization program on YouTube. So if you think about Fabrizio Romano, for example, people often say, why does he retweet his own tweet from 2 hours ago every fucking hour? Like Liverpool closing in on Isak, retweet his own shit over and over and over and over and over again. Well, you imagined if every time you retweeted something, one of your own posts, you got 100 quid or 1,000 quid for it. How many times would you fucking retweet it? Do you know what I mean? And that's the negative with social media, with X, because now that there is a monetization program like that, it means that there's incentive there for people to mislead. Previously, it was just a case of linking you through to their website. So that's where you get the exclusives. Come through to my website, and then you get there, and there's thousands of fucking adverts. It's difficult. It's difficult. Now, the indie account, like I was saying, from my point of view, with the experience that I know of how all this works, that's making good coin for someone, And if you take it as a bit of fun, if you realise it's a bit of fun, maybe you can say, then get on with it, you know what I mean? But a lot of people, respond to it. You're like, if true, it will be rejected. If true, really? Do you know what I mean? Anyway, that's where the rumour comes from. I don't have a problem with the account in the sense of what it does. I mean, I can see the account for what it is, but it is, I don't know. It can make my work a little bit difficult because people hear rumours and they don't know where they come from. I guess it depends on your age and your vulnerability, I guess. There's Fabrizio Romano. I'm not going to shout. There's Fab up there. Yeah, but there is no, I mean, even if you think of a proper established account, like the Liverpool Echo, for example, back in the day, the Liverpool Echo was, as Brendan Rodgers would say, was fantastic. It was if you can imagine what Paul Joyce is like now when you see an article on the Times, that's what the Echo used to be like. And they just use clickbaity headlines all the time, you've got to click through, reach PLC. Anyway, enough of that shite. I think people that have been around these parts for a long time know how it works. Anyway, if you want to believe that about Marc Guéhi, that's fine. I think that Liverpool will bid for him. I do think they will. Well, let's rephrase that. Maybe they won't bid, as in make say, I'm getting like them, I'm giving you the edge, aren't I? No, I'm telling you the truth. This is what I think will happen. Liverpool will make some inquiries closer to the window, and they'll say, what do you reckon? Yeah? If it's a quite obvious no, get fucked, what's the point of bidding? So they won't bid, will they? So I do think we'll go for it, no. I think Joyce was just playing the game for Liverpool when he said that. But we'll keep an eye on things. We're now, what people will know, what I've said for many years, is that around the third week of November is when things internally at Liverpool Football Club start ramping up a little bit. So the transfer window closes in the summer and it goes a bit quiet. You always get your speculation every day, right? But I've always found that the more credible reporting tends to come out after the third week of November for the January window. Now, I haven't seen any yet. Now, obviously, there's the Semenyo stuff, right? Which is fucking obvious that clubs are going to try and sign a player for that value, of the release clause in January. It's obvious, right? It goes without saying. So you're going to see all these idiots fucking making all sorts of claims and whatnot. But it's other stuff that you need to be looking out for, I think, because they're the obvious things. These are all obvious. Guéhi, Semenyo. Let's look for someone that's coming out with something a little bit different. That's what I think. And unfortunately, you're not going to find it on here. It's a fucking cesspit today, guys. It really is. It's got worse. But I think it's got worse since this monetization, since Elon Musk did this monetization, And also another thing I will say as well is these accounts that are caught up in the clicks and the engagement farming, they're all the ones that promote, is it Rainbet? That's the latest one. Do you remember? The other one was Stake before, wasn't it? Yeah. They all follow that same pattern. And what concerns me more is I understand why they do it. It's a business, right? They're making money from it. But I really struggle to understand how people can be so gullible. Didn't think you could make bids till 1st of January, indeed. Do you know what I mean? Doubt this very much. Liverpool won't piss away 25 million on a player that's free in 4 months unless they have a buyer for Konate in January. That's just completely... I think Liverpool would pay £25 million for Marc Guéhi in January. 1,000,000%. How would it be pissing away £25 million? Right? Unless they have a buyer for Konate in January. Who the fuck... Why would Konate allow himself to be sold in January if he's available on a free? Do you know what I mean? I've read enough. I'm back. Now, if you enjoyed this video, you can thumbs up this video. Now, if you're one of the gullible types, I know you're going to thumbs down the video and you're going to tell me you got something right in the summer. You got loads right in the summer, chumps. Aye, all right. You don't think that I see everything? Okay. But if you did enjoy the video, if you're intelligent, please thumbs up this video, okay? Please drop me a comment as well. What you think about Marc Guéhi, not about this shite, you fucking... What you think's going to happen with Marc Guéhi? Do you think we will bid for him or will we wait till the summer? He's going to be a Liverpool player, right? I tell you something I did notice. One of these journalists, it might have been Talk Sports, is it Alex Crook or something? I don't fucking know. I saw some shit yesterday saying that Liverpool were up against these mighty clubs, Real Madrid and Barcelona, trying to sign Marc Guéhi. Fuck all, said in Spain about Marc Guéhi. Fuck all, man, right? So, would those clubs be interested in him? Yeah. A quality, as Rafa Benitez would say, quality player available on a free, of course you're going to be interested. But it's bullshit, guys. And it's just so fucking obvious, whether it's a Twitter twat or a so-called journalist at one of these places, they've got the easiest fucking job in the world, haven't they? Seriously. Anyway, drop me a comment. If you want to support my channel, there's a love heart under the video. I'm not going to cry about it if you fucking don't. All right? I know my peoples are, but I tell you what, I do want to drink on Saturday. And I expect my peoples to step up and use the Revolut link in the video description. And there's a difference here between me grifting and them grifting. Me, I'm honest as fuck. I want to go for a beer. Right? And I put the effort in. Just saying. Right? And the difference is, if I ever bump into you, I buy you a fucking pint too. And every single person that's ever met me can verify that I always offer to do that. All right? All right, then. All right, let's see if there's something else we can fucking talk about. Because I tell you what, when I was away on my little jolly over there, every single day there was an exclusive. Every single fucking day. Seriously. See you in a bit.